The first male character in La Heroy, we welcome you LUUK HERSSEN. Unlike Amy, whose kit is completely full of wall of text, LUUK's kit is actually simpler, fortunately. But honestly, what kind of kit does he offer? Is he going to be the main DPS, a support, or a secondary carry? And which character have the potential to be paired with this man in the future? Don't worry my friends, in this video we are going to make a breakdown of LUUK HERSSEN's kit. This includes sections such as his resonance chain, signature weapon, and also the character synergies. But before that, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button. And for all the future LUUK mains, please comment down below. Alright, if you have done that, let's get started. LUUK HERSSEN is a 5-star limited character that has an attribute of Spectro and will use Gauntlet as his weapon. His role is going to be the main DPS in the team. Most of LUUK's damage will be considered as basic attack damage and also can respond to Toon Strength Interfere, while simultaneously can also inflicting 1. His gameplay is more dominant in mid-air. Because of this, without leaving him vulnerable while in the air, he is also capable of having a defensive buff that will make him immune to interruption, as well as decreasing the damage taken while being airborne. He's going to be using his forte to enhance his resonance skill, which can transform into 3 forms, and these attacks will be considered as basic attack damage. While performing the ability, he will gain an increase in his Resonance Liberation multiplier, whose damage will also be counted as basic attack damage. LUUK has a base attack of 463, and as you unlock all of his talents, he will gain additional bonus of 6% attack and 4% crit rate. For his basic attack, he will have 4 stages and deal spectral damage to enemies. And for his skill, it has 2 charges, and LUUK will dash towards the target once it's activated. This can also be used in mid-air. If you perform basic attack stage 3 while in the mid-air, it will unlock a new skill. Let's just call this enhanced skill that plays a crucial role in his kit. This enhanced resonance skill will deal basic attack damage, and it has 3 forms: Ring, Breach, and Glare. The first form of the skill, he's going to deal spectral damage, and while doing so, LUUK will reset his basic attack mid-air cycle. As for the second form, he will spin and slash forward, throws the whirling blade to deal spectral damage. Once you perform these 2 forms of skill, he will unlock the third form, where once activated, he is going to deploy like a solid ichor on the ground. This thing will explode to deal AoE spectral damage after 5 seconds. Take note that all form of this resonance skill will deal basic attack damage, and it seems like you cannot perform a quick swap with LUUK, as swapping to other character will reset the enhanced skill combo back to the basic one. After casting each form of enhanced resonance skill, LUUK will gain 1 stack of buff that will increase his liberation damage multiplier by 20%, up to a maximum of 3 stacks. This resonance liberation has no further effects other than deal AoE spectral damage to nearby enemies, and the damage will be counted as basic attack damage. Now we move on to talk about his forte, which is surprisingly simpler than Amy's. When you cast the third form of LUUK's enhanced resonance skill, he will deploy a solid ichor that later on will explode on its own, right? And LUUK will still remain in the mid-air while doing this. You can simply press or hold the basic attack button to let him perform a special punch attack from the air, and doing this will punch the ground and let the solid ichor to detonate faster and deal spectral basic attack damage to enemies. This ability will not be available when LUUK is switched to another character. That's why this potentially makes him not suited to a quick swap gameplay. The special punch attack also cannot be used after you cast his Resonance Liberation, so when playing with LUUK, always finish your rotation with his Liberation before swapping to another character. So LUUK only has 1 forte, which has 300 points. You can fill this bar by using basic attacks, his basic and enhanced resonance skill, performing his special plunge, and also a bonus 100 points if he uses intro skill. Once the forte bar is full, LUUK will enter a special state where all of his enhanced skill forms, including his special punch attack, will have their damage multiplier increased by 110%. After performing the enhanced skills, each form will consume 100 points of forte, and while being in a special state, LUUK will no longer be able to restore his own forte and need to end this state first before he can fill his forte bar back. But to get that 300 points sounds more difficult, and he may waste so much time to fill his own forte, and his intro alone can only give him 100 points. That's why, thanks to one of his abilities, when he is on the team, every other member that casts outro skills and switches to LUUK to activate his intro, LUUK will immediately get 200 points of forte as well as 12 concerto energy. This effect will only activate once every 24 seconds, which is technically enough for 1 rotation. With this, once LUUK present in the battlefield through his intro skill, he already have a full forte. You have to remember that all of his attacks are performed while in the mid-air, so he might expose himself to danger and make himself more vulnerable, especially when facing enemies that can also fly. But fortunately, LUUK has some kind of defensive buff. In this forte ability, every time he stays out of combat for about 4 seconds, or using intro skill, he will obtain this 1 stack of buff. This stack will be consumed when LUUK is damaged while being in the air, and it will decrease the damage taken by 60%, as well as gain immunity to any interruption for 1 second. He also can dodge some enemies' attack and stays airborne while simultaneously throws a whirling blade to enemies to deal spectral damage. Only one blade can exist at the same time, so you can't spam dodging and expect him to throw multiple blades while in the air. And now let's talk about his passives. When LUUK deals damage or defeat the enemies that are already inflicted with Twin Strength interfered, he will gain the following effects. First, if LUUK has not yet inflicted them with a special debuff called Perpetuating Daytime, then LUUK will inflict them with these debuffs and immediately follow the same stack as the Strength interfered available. The second, if he already inflicts these 2 enemies, then the stack count will also follow the Strength interfered that enemy has. Every time LUUK casts Toon Break skill to enemies inflicted with Strength interfered, then he will remove all of these special debuffs, and will directly inflict another Toon Strength interfered, whose number of stacks will follow the previously removed debuffs. This passive is somehow to make the application of Toon Shift become more consistent. As for his other passive, when he deals damage to an inflicted enemy with Strength interfered, every 10 points of his Toon Break boost will amplify his damage by 5% up to 30%. If the target has 3 stacks of strain, then his damage will be further amplified by 15%. His intro skill description is nothing special, he only deals spectral damage to enemies. The same goes for his outro skill. LUUK can only respond to Toon Strength interfered. Every 1 stack of Toon Strength interfered that the enemy has, it will increase his total damage by 0.12%. And whenever LUUK is in the team, the maximum limit of Strength interfered on the target increases by 1. Now that we have elaborated all of his kit, it's time to discuss his resonance chains. Are these RCs worth it? For his first RC, the mid-air attack damage is increased by 150%, since all of his enhanced resonance skill will be performed while airborne. He also gains some more defensive utility through this RC, as the stack limit of his defensive buff that grants him immunity to interruption is increased by 1, and performing enhanced resonance skill will also give him 1 stack. His second RC makes his steel abrasion damage multiplier to increase by 60%. One of his passive is also enhanced, where he is now gain 10% damage amplification for every 10 point of Toon Break boost he has, and the limit is now increased to 60% damage amplification. As for his third RC, his enhanced skill damage multiplier while being in the special state is increased by 60%. There is also an enhancement to his passive, where his teams now can be the one that inflicts special daytime debuffs, and LUUK is no longer the one who need to cast Toon Break skill to let the Strength interfered application happen. The fourth resonance chain will give the whole team member 20% all attribute damage bonus for 20 seconds every time any resonator in the team casts their Toon Break skill. His intro and outro skill now can deal 80% more damage thanks to his RC5. His basic resonance skill also has 1 additional charge, making it 3 now, and its cooldown reduced by 2 seconds, as well as having its multiplier damage increased by 50%. Finally, his last resonance chain, when any resonator in the team casts their Toon Break skill, LUUK's enhanced skill and special punch deal 30% more damage to enemies. Each stack of buff that he gets from casting enhanced resonance skill will now grant his celebration damage multiplier an increase by 40%, with a maximum of 120%. Now, every time he deals damage to the enemy, the Toon Strength interfered stacks will increase by 2, and it will go beyond the maximum limit. Now it's time to take a peek of what kind of weapon LUUK has. It has a base attack of 588 and offers a 24% crit rate to the wielders. As for the passive, it offers 12% attack. Each time intro skill or resonance skill is cast, the user will get 20% basic attack damage amplification for 6 seconds. Also, dealing basic attack damage will increase the user's spectral damage bonus by 20%, and the wearer's damage will also ignore 10% of the enemy's defense for 4 seconds. So which character has the potential synergy with LUUK? Since he's going to need someone that can consistently apply Toon Strength Shift, Linnea is probably going to be the best second DPS in his team. Not only she can inflict Toon Strain, but Linnea basically works almost with any DPS in the game. She offers 15% damage amplification through her outro, all attribute damage bonus from her liberation, and she can give an attack boost to your main carry from one of her best in slot echo set. Not to mention, Linnea also can give additional Toon Break boost to her whole team member, just something that LUUK appreciate even more to maximize the damage amplification from one of his passives. As for the sustain, Morning is also capable to help LUUK to reach peak performance. Besides the 25 damage amplification from her outro, LUUK will benefit from the 40% damage boost that Morning offers, since there will be a strain interfered inflicted to the enemy within the battlefield. She also offers 50% of tune level build up rate that is resulted in more frequent tune break skills to be activated. This way, with the help of his first passive, LUUK can consistently apply tune strain interfere. Sadly, don't forget we also have one of the best 4-star that exists in the game. She is Sanhua. Since most of LUUK's damage is considered as basic attack damage, then why don't we pair him with this lady whose outro skill can give 38% basic attack damage amplification for 14 seconds. Besides these characters, who else can potentially be paired well with LUUK HERSSEN? Let me know in the comments. So that's it for today's character kit breakdown. Do you guys think LUUK will be the best Spectral DPS in the game, or are both Jinshi and Zani still stronger? Please share your thoughts in the comment below. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like and subscribe button, turn on notification as well so you won't miss out on my next Wuthering Waves content. I will see you guys on my next one. Bye bye!